Hello. Welcome. I'm on camera. I've never done this before. Cat Club 5th anniversary. Let's go. I don't know how to start this. I have like no script or preparation or anything. Most I did was this outfit and that was it. So, questions? Should I do questions first? That might be good. That might be good if I answered some questions first. First question from my dear friend, Pan. Okay, so their question is, what's your inspiration for the power system and character designs? There's a second part to that question, but hang on. I'll just answer that first. So for the power system, first of all, I like cats. That is where this started. I like cats. So, I don't know, I had an idea for a team of, I was hoping magical girls, right? And that was the original concept. And I was like, okay, a team of magical girls, what kind of powers do they have? They have cat-themed powers, because they're the cat club, or whatever. And you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you, I had a friend, actually, who helped me come up with the idea. He actually, oh, hey, speaking of cats, hello. Hello, thank you for interrupting me. Anyway, bye. Where was I? Right, my friend, okay. He gave me the idea, I think from some like story prompt generator thing, and we sort of like brainstormed what it could be together, and that was pretty fun. And that's why the initial concept, I had some fondness for it. As for the designs, basically the same place. I keep going to the wrong thing. I don't remember if I talked about this in a previous anniversary. I might have, but there was, where is it? So I just realized that I have none of the files on my computer anymore because I deleted them, but they're all on my phone and on a thumb drive. I just wanted to save space on my laptop, and that was like the easiest way to do it. So not on my laptop, but I will put up a picture probably right there. I hope, right there. I'll probably have a couple of them showing. And so my friend, he went on to pick crew. He wanted to pick crew, made like a 6 character designs for me. And I just sort of, when I made the comic, I just adapted them into my own art style, and I sort of changed details and stuff on the designs. But I initially inspired by those designs, and I even have a couple with sketches on them. So those were like the original concept sketches. I only made like 3 of them for Ren, Choco, and Akubi. They were the ones that I liked the most design-wise, so I just made their designs like first. And I also came up with their names when I made that. I came up with everybody's names like really early on. Ren was like the first name, I think. First name only. I had to come up with her last name myself. But everybody else, I came up with their names. The last character you have not met yet in the story, I'm going to have her show up soon though. Very, very soon. In terms of chapters, not in terms of like time. In terms of time, I have no idea. It could be like 2 or 3 years in the future, but probably like, I don't know, at least like 5 chapters from where we are now in the story. We'll see. But anyway, that last character's name, you know what, I'll forget it. You'll see. She'll be mentioned really soon, really soon. And I don't know, there are a bunch of other characters on the side. I didn't know how to go about like, you know, naming other characters, or like coming up with what kinds of powers they had, so I just kind of went like, everybody has animal related powers. And there was the initial idea for how they got their powers was really different from how it is now, actually. So what the original plan was to have it so if they risked their life saving a cat, then they would get their cat powers, and they'd have like a cat companion sort of thing. And I actually still like that idea, and I wanted to do that when I started writing, but it was like, that's probably too complicated for me to draw, so I just won't do it. And so I didn't do it, and I really should have. I think that probably would have had an extra layer on the story and been more interesting overall, but I didn't do it, and that's okay, because I'm just going off of what I've written already now, so it doesn't matter what I have and haven't done with the characters. I'm just gonna have fun with it, you know, like, so, you know, original concepts, if there's anything in the story so far that's contradicted that, I'm just not doing it anymore. And if you've ever heard me say anything anywhere for any reason that I was going to do something and it hasn't happened, that's because I'm not doing it. And I'm going more off of what I've already written rather than what I want to do, so that way there's a natural sort of progression from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. I don't want to just go off of like, oh, this is how the character is in my head. I want to go, okay, how did I write the character, and where do I go from there? So I'm doing that with the characters. I'm doing that with the world, which is honestly very, very loosely defined, and I'm working on that, but I also don't care. So I'm mainly just focusing on the characters for the time being. The power system is important. There's going to be stuff that happens with it at some point, probably, maybe. I don't know. Don't be surprised if the story ends and I never address it, or like what it is, or how it works, or anything. And so that's where my inspiration for the power system and the character designs. The inspiration was cats, and I said, what if there were other animals? And then character designs, my friend made them, and I didn't steal, but I made designs inspired by those. Okay, yeah. The second part of the question was, also, are there any scrapped characters or story beats that you can share? That would be cool. I have so many. Okay. So many. I have like more than once I've started doing thumbnails for entire episodes, and I just stopped doing them. There are like there are entire like alternate timelines for Cat Club now, just because I had ideas and directions that I wanted to go down, and I started to, and then I didn't. For example, in the original concept drawing that I made for Cat Club some years ago, 5 years ago, even more than 5 years ago at this point, actually. But that one, I should be showing it right here, right now, I hope. If I didn't edit this video, then I'm gonna look like a fucking idiot, but whatever. In this picture, I drew Rin and Oritsu holding hands, with Oritsu looking tense and like she didn't want to be there or something, but they were still like holding hands. And that was part of the first sort of idea for what I wanted the story to be and who I wanted Rin's love interest to be. Was going to be Oritsu, and then I don't know, I didn't do that. I might still have something at some point alluding to that or whatever. There was a thing about that like early on, like second chapter, episode, whatever, I don't know, where like Oritsu puts her hand out and Rin grabs it, and then Oritsu punches her in the face, and it's like a fake out kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to go and do that, and I still think it would have been interesting, because the whole dynamic that I had for them was honestly a bit more fleshed out than any other dynamic that I wanted Rin to have with other characters. Because it was like, because of Oritsu's ability, Whisker, which is basically just like spider sense in Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Where it's like if she feels something or if she senses something that's like, that presents a danger to her or a potential danger to her, she's going to move out of the way. Because, you know, that's, and I don't know if I've explained this, I don't think I have ever, and thankfully there hasn't been any confusion about it, how it works, her ability. I was thinking, like, I didn't know what ability to give her, so I gave her Whisker, which I thought was really interesting. Okay, because how whiskers work on cats is they're, where the hairs come out of, they have like little nerve clusters. So when anything touches their whiskers, they're like really sensitive to that. So whiskers are like feelers. And I liked that idea, and I thought it would be cool to make a power out of it. So I did that. And now we have Oritsu with her silly little ability, and it's cool. I like it personally. Sorry, that's a whole tangent. Not a tangent. I needed that to explain what I was talking about. Rin and Oritsu, I wanted them to have this sort of dynamic where Rin would just be very like, you know, like, oh, I want to be friends with you and stuff, and Oritsu would be like, why do you want to be close to me? What's up with this and whatever. She likes to burrow in the blanket. I don't. Right, and Oritsu's just like, oh, what are you doing? Why do you like me? Whatever. And she's just like very nervous and apprehensive about the whole thing. And I thought that would be an interesting, fun little dynamic for them to have. And I showed it off in a single drawing, and I think that's cool. I'm very proud of myself for doing that. Not as proud of myself for having not used it, but whatever. Other scrapped concepts and ideas. Oh yeah, originally I thought it'd be interesting for Rin to want like nothing to do with the club, but she keeps meeting them anyway. And I thought about that, and I genuinely didn't know how to write a story like that, and I thought, like, thinking about it, it would have been too complicated and not quite straightforward enough for me to actually be able to draw it and make it interesting for long enough. You know, maybe I could do it now. Maybe. But I wanted to get to work on that first episode, and I wanted it to be straightforward and simple and get like right into it. And the entire story kind of ends up being a slow burn anyway, but who cares? I mean, it's not really that much of a slow burn now that I'm thinking about it. I just take forever drawing it. But that's fine too. That's okay. I am in school. I'm in college, actually. Yay. after that, I decided Rin should be like, you know, like more interested in joining the club, and have it be like she wants to join, right? And I was like, well, why would she want to? And I had to think about that for a second. I was like, oh, because I don't know, she's lonely and has no friends. It's like, okay, that's easy. And this is like her story about making friends for the first time. I didn't realize this was on camera. Not that that matters, it's just, I don't know, I wanted a mostly clean sort of shot for this anyway. Other scrapped ideas include an entire character. She'll be on screen right now. I had a name for her, I had a power for her, an ability, and I had a whole character arc, and she was gonna play a huge role in the story, probably one of the biggest roles in the story out of anybody, and I just didn't go through with it because it was too many characters. And I figured I could just sort of like take her character arc and stuff and sort of like and the cool stuff that I wanted her to do, and I was like, I can sort of dissolve that into everyone else. So there's an entire unused character, never used her. Maybe I'll just draw her for the heck of it, and she'll show up right there. Unless I didn't draw her, in which case I'm just gonna cut this entire thing out. Or not, just to be funny and embarrass myself. I don't know. What else besides the one entire character? What remains to be seen is if I will scrap the entire second half of Cat Club and just end it where I end it. And I'm not going to explain that because it would be spoilers. But basically, I have a sort of half ending planned coming in the arc after the next one, and I'm thinking I might just end it there. If not, then I'm probably just gonna spend my entire life writing Cat Club, and I really don't want to do that. I already have like I have a bunch of other ideas. Honestly, I really just want Cat Club done. So don't be surprised, do not be surprised if I end up doing a bunch of just like little things, and if arcs end a little quickly, or if my art is rushed in places, because I have big ideas. I like what I'm doing, and I want to do more. I want to do so much more. I love all my characters and everything, and I don't want to ruin the story, so I really don't want to rush it or anything, but I do want it done. So yeah, and I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying that for months, at least a year, a couple of years maybe. However, I'm not going to let this become like my other projects, my other stories, because there was one other sort of serialized story I was doing, and that one was a funny little JoJo fanfiction that I made, and it was really fun. It was really cool. I liked it a lot, but it didn't. I started making Cat Club. That's what happened. I wanted to make an original story. I wanted to make comics. I wanted to do other stuff, and I was really enjoying my little JoJo fanfic thing that I was making. And a lot of other people enjoyed it too, thankfully. But I'm happy I made it still, even if it's not done. So I guess that's technically a scrapped idea. It's an entire story that's not Cat Club at all. So not really a scrapped story idea for Cat Club, but hey, I just want to say right now, this is a really good question pan. Thank you. Because I have easily like another 30 minutes of this in me. I have a bunch of scrapped ideas for the Bubble Pop arc that I almost did, and I even have thumbnails for some of it, but I didn't finish them. At some point in that, in the middle of that arc, I wanted to show Popo's entire backstory and have that be like a few episodes. And I wish I did. I still wish I did. I'm still trying to write that backstory also. It's just I want my story to get dark, obviously. I want messed up stuff to happen. I want to break hearts. I want people to cry reading my story if possible. And I hope I can do that by the end of it. But that backstory that I had in mind for her, I felt, at least at the time, that it was better implied, because I didn't really feel like I could do it justice, because it's a dark backstory. Even now I kind of struggle to write it just because of how, like, honestly kind of upsetting it is to write, but I do want to write it and I don't want to shy away from it. But I had to shy away from it in that arc, and I felt it was better off implied. So I don't know. It's not entirely scrapped. It's just that's a future thing that I will probably cover and go into more detail about. It's going to be a side story, so it's not really a spoiler for the main story or anything. You can just read it. And it can be its own thing entirely if you want it to be. So there's that. I also had a different direction for Popo as a character. Okay, so the characters that she's inspired by, I'll probably put pictures of them on screen as I mention them, but the first character is Luck from Black Clover. Luck is a character who I like a lot. Even on the most recent reread that I've been doing of Black Clover to try to go through the whole story, I've enjoyed him a lot. And the first time I watched Black Clover and also read like a little bit of the manga, that was, when was that? That was, well, a long time before I started Cat Club, that's for sure. It was a good few years, I think, a year or so. I don't remember when exactly, but I did try getting into Black Clover, and Luck was my favorite character by far. I liked how he used his magic strictly for, like, physical enhancement, and it was just that his, like, arms and legs were strong, and that was it. That was, like, his whole deal. And I thought that was really cool. And obviously I wanted my own character like that, because, like, whoa. And with these other two characters that I'm going to mention, he really likes fighting. That's the thing that he has in common with these other two characters and with Popo. That's the common through line, is that they all really like fighting. So the next character and the next two that I'm gonna mention, these are fucked up guys, okay? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Anyway, next up is Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, and if you know a thing or two about him, yeah. So I was gonna pay like a very direct homage to a famous thing that he does And I didn't do that. So I just, I just didn't do it. I kind of did a little bit, but that was subtle and understated. But like if you're looking for it, if you have my mind, then yeah, you see it. But the one thing specifically that I was into at this time, while I was, not this time, but at the time while I was making the Bubble Pop arc, I had, I was reading through Baki, and that brings me to the third character that I was heavily influenced by when writing her, and you can kind of see it in episode 7. 7? No, it's 8. Episode 8, sorry. And that character is Yujiro Hanma. That's the character. And again, that's another guy where if you know a thing or two about him, he's a fucked up guy. Fucked up individual. Anyway, so I wanted to base my character off of those three. It was going to be more directly influenced by them, but I decided to make it more loose and just kind of do my own thing with her entirely. And I thought about like what would make a person like this, and when I came up with what her backstory was and what sort of influenced her to become who she is, I figured it wouldn't really feel right, at least to me, if I made her just a full-on straight-up villain with like nothing else to her. So I came up with the ending of the Bubble Pop arc, where she gets the shit beaten out of her and then she cries about it. But more specifically, she's made to realize it's okay for her to like feel her pain and for her to express it, but it's not okay to inflict the same pain onto others. And it's a like simple character arc, but I hope it's effective in the way that I did it. And I'm not done with her, because she shows up again in the most recent episode, and she wants Rin's help with apologizing to Cody, the guy from the last arc, who was also there. And I specifically didn't want to do this. This is another scrapped thing, sort of. I specifically didn't want to have the arcs like have that much crossing over, but once I realized I had no idea what I wanted to do with the third story arc, and also that I was planning to end it soon, so I should probably like conclude the character arcs of, and I'm gonna be honest with you, my two favorite characters in the entire story. It's surprisingly, the main character is not my personal favorite character in the whole thing. It's Popu and Cody to a lesser extent. At least out of what I've written so far, those are absolutely my two favorite characters. In my head, though, in what I've written in my brain, Rin's my favorite, but I've literally done almost none of what I've had planned for her in the actual story, unfortunately. So she's been kind of sidelined, and that's not going to change for a few episodes, actually. I gave her her time. I gave her her time after the second arc before I focused on an entirely new character, who I just... Okay, so my original plan for the arcs was going to be, the first introductory arc, and then after that, each arc was going to focus on a specific character. And that was going to be a new character in the club that Rin would have to get to know and form a relationship with, and then they'd vote yes on her, and she'd be one step closer to being let into the club. And that's still what I'm gonna do. Sort of. Kind of. She needs 2 more votes so I can just do whatever the fuck I want at this point. Yeah, I don't know. I just fucking... what was I saying? I don't remember. Right, so this third arc was initially just going to focus entirely on Akubi, and I didn't want to have, like, Popu come over from the previous arc, because I knew that with my writing and who my favorites are, I would end up having Popu kind of overshadow Akubi in some way, and the only way to really avoid doing that is if I had Popu just, like, completely disrespected in one way or another, and sort of sidelined in her own redemption arc that this arc has now become about. So it's weird, it's complicated, it's stupid, and I don't know, I really don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I should have scrapped Akubi at some point. I'm gonna be completely honest, but she's in the story now, so I have to do something with her. And I will. She was coming up, her arc was coming up, and I had to do something with her, and I straight up could not figure it out for the life of me, so yeah, something's gonna happen with her eventually. I'll do something, and you will see it eventually. But I had a whole bunch of ideas with her, sort of, kind of, that were scrapped, but that's just because they weren't gonna work, or I didn't have time for it, or I simply lost interest in that direction, for various reasons, why stuff that I had planned with Akubi is no longer going to happen. But I still like her as a character. I enjoy her, her presence, her design. I like her design. I'm very happy with her design. I like drawing her, and I think she's cool. I really do. But, you know, like, her whole deal is, like, she's got her shit mostly together, and she's, like, one of the only ones who does. There's going to be a little bit more to her, absolutely. But, at the moment, that's all she's got right now. What else is sort of scrapped? Because there's a lot. There's quite a bit. I don't know. For the most part, a lot of the stuff that I have planned has yet to happen. So I don't know what's going to be scrapped in the future. There are a few things that I'm sure I might scrap, but I don't know yet. I might as well just say right now, one of those things is a serial killer type of story thing, and I might do that. But I don't know, because that's going to involve a whole other story after Rin joins the club. So I don't know. That's the other thing. I'm thinking about having the story just end whenever Rin joins the club. Because I don't know. I feel like that would be emotionally resonant. It would tie the themes together or whatever. I don't fucking know. It'd be good. It would work well, I think. But what I like, if I do continue on with that whole serial killer story that I had with Cat Club, it'd end up being a whole like story that's about the same length as what I've written already, and that's gonna take another God knows how many years, so I'm probably not gonna do that. I think I'm done talking about scrap concepts now. Honestly, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? There's probably a bunch of other stuff, more characters that I'm probably gonna scrap, but I might have them show up in one way or another. I don't know. But I will say there's not much of the story left, so I'm just gonna tell it and let it happen. I forgot, that's like the one good question I got. Well, two, but... Next question is from Orange. Thanks, Orange, for your question. And Orange says, do you remember which chapter I last read? No. Hope you figure it out. Thanks, Orange. Next question from Binky Boingo. Binky Boingo. I know you. I know you. I know you. Ugh. And Binky Boingo says, what is? I wanted to record a thing for Cat Club, the 5th anniversary of this really huge project. Honestly, probably the biggest project I've ever made. And I wanted to do something, and I wanted it to be kind of special, you know. And I thought it'd be like maybe a kind of big thing, but I don't know. Maybe it's better just casual, right? I've always wanted to just celebrate the fact that I've made a thing and that people like it, and I'm still doing it somehow. And you know, I was hoping I'd get like more questions maybe, but only 3, and that's fine. Honestly, I don't really care. I did get to talk for a good while anyway, so that's probably good enough. Matter of fact, my voice is getting very tired, and I should probably drink water after this. But I'm still happy, you know. I made a thing, and I get to look at it sometimes, and a good chunk of it looks really good. You know, a lot of it does, a lot of it also doesn't, but that's neither here nor there. It represents my growth as a writer and an artist, and definitely a person. I can look back on my older episodes and think about how I was just a completely different person 5 years ago. The me who started Cat Club is not the me who's sitting on this couch in this strangely formal outfit today. And I mean, fuck, I didn't even know I'd be in a dress, you know. I always thought like I'd just be I don't know. I never thought I'd be special, and I still don't really think that. I always thought of myself as just me. When I thought about how I might be like transgender, that was really weird for me. Honestly, I didn't. I'm making this about me being trans now, by the way. But I didn't really believe it at first. I thought, I mean, more than once I thought there's no way that could be me. There's no way I'm special enough. There's no way I'm like weird enough. I'm just like a person, and there's nothing about me that's this, you know. And I was wrong because I'm here now and I'm wearing this, and I've got fucking theys and thems and it's in my pronouns now, so like whatever, man. I'm just a fucking person. And I'm a person who makes a webcomic on the internet that, like, I don't know, it's like 4 or 5 people read like consistently. You know, somehow I get a bunch of views on my episodes that, like, you know, it's just people, and they're not really commenting or even really liking it, but they're still viewing it, they're still seeing it. And I wonder what those people think. I really wonder. Because, like, I don't know, are they just reading? Are they just enjoying it? Or they hate reading? Or they hate reading and telling their friends about, like, how terrible my comic is? I don't know. And I don't really care. Because I don't hear from them, so I guess that doesn't matter. And I don't know, some people who read my comic might watch this video, and some people who don't read my comic probably will watch this video. And I don't know, it's been a crazy 5 years, and a lot of why it's been crazy has had nothing to do with the comic at all. But I don't know, it's been the one true constant in my life for these 5 years. I've had friends come and go. I've had, you know, romantic relationships begin and end. I've had family members die. I've changed completely, but the one thing that I've continued to do and continued to have an interest in is this comic. And it's not over yet at all, but someday it's going to be. Whether that's just like when it ends or when I stop drawing it. And those are two very different things. And I don't know, I hope that it ends before I stop drawing it, personally. Because I'd hate to leave you guys hanging, and I feel like I also need that closure with the story. I relate to the characters in my story very deeply, obviously, because I wrote them and I based them off of pieces of me. So I don't know, I want them to have an ending. I don't want them to just exist in a sort of limbo, you know. And I'm hoping I can properly build up to that and have it conclude in a way that's satisfying and makes sense and is fun. You know, I want it to be fun, I really do. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I'm working on a bunch of other stuff that isn't Cat Club, believe it or not. Just to name a few things that you guys watching this video right now, my friends, people who just know my work, acquaintances, whoever, some of the stuff might not even get finished, but I just want to talk about like what I'm up to on the side, and stuff that's potentially maybe distracting me from making Cat Club, but I don't care because it's all stuff that I enjoy doing, and I'm just gonna do what I like doing, because that's all I really want to do. That's all I really care about doing. But you know, of course, I have a bunch of shit that I have to do that I don't want to. Whatever. Jobs and school and whatever. But as far as things that I do want to do, projects, interests, I'm interested in making music. I might make music. I like animating. I'm not great at it. I do it sometimes. I probably can make music too, actually. I've been playing piano for a long time, many years at this point. And I'd like to do something with that at some point. Maybe I'll upload something of me playing a song, I don't know. I'm learning guitar, kind of, a little bit, off and on. What else? I'm interested in, I'm not going to say I can, but I'm saying I'm interested in making games, a game specifically. Not really a specific game that I have in mind, though. I'm starting small and fairly easy with just a little Pokemon ROM hack that I'm working off and on with. It's, again, very much a side thing. I only do it when I'm thinking about it and when I have an idea or I'm interested in doing something with it. It's probably not going to be a huge thing, but you know, just something. I like anything creative. I'm interested in. I'm making a short horror story that is either finished or I'm gonna do more with it. I don't know yet, but I'm gonna wait until I've exhausted every possible idea that I have with it and I'm completely bored of writing it, and then I'll put it out. And so far that has had more meticulous planning than Cat Club has ever had, so that's something. I've thought about doing some sort of like audio drama thing. Maybe I'd have like no concrete setup for that at all, but these are just potential things that I want to work on in the future. And Cat Club's definitely not getting in the way of me doing any of that. I can give up Cat Club anytime I want to. And there's some comfort in that, but I also don't want to give up Cat Club. I want to keep drawing it. I want to keep making it. I want to finish it even. That'd be good if I finished it. If I finished it. But yeah, I don't know. I think a short film would be cool. I have no one to film that with, so I'd have to do like a one-woman show kind of thing. But I don't know. I'd figure something out, probably. Just any creative pursuit, anything like that, I'm interested in, and I want to see it through. I want to do something with it. I want to make cool things. I want to make things that I'm happy about, things I'm excited about, and I want to do all of it, honestly. Every possible thing I can think of, every little thing that I have a passing interest in, I want to go for it. I want to do it. And fuck, that might not even be Cat Club, and it might not be making comics. It might be anything. I do like drawing. I like making comics. I think that's fun. I have other comics in mind that I want to make, or at least other stories in mind that don't necessarily have to be comics, but they could be. And I don't know. I've just got a lot of things, ideas, and stuff I want to do. So yeah, I don't know. None of it is probably going to be important. Who knows? A lot of it I'm probably just never going to do. And that's okay, too. Honestly. This video is one of those things, and I'm doing it right now. And it's here. So, and I did this whole outfit. I did this whole fucking outfit. Look at it. Wait, look at it. Look at it. I'm in an outfit, guys. For a video. And I've got like, hang on, I got these boots on. Look at that. And I think this is cool. I like making little outfits and you know, doing shit. I've never put on an outfit for anything before except this, and this might be the only time I ever do it, but I'm doing it right now and I'm very happy about it. I think I look great, actually. I think I look amazing. But I don't know. Happy 5th anniversary. Cat Club's anniversary. Happy 5th Cat Club's anniversary.